back to Enjoy Beekeeping. My name is Jean Renee. I just brought in 30 frames of honey. One in particular outshined all the other ones. I got 12 frames of honey from just one of those colonies. So that's the one that I'm going to be making new queens from. That's the one I want to make my splits with. I'm going to really focus on those genetics because not only did that colony make a lot of honey, they were gentle. I saw very little hive beetles, and overall the colony was very robust, and it didn't look like it was weakened at all by the dearth. We have about a 3-month dearth, sometimes 4, here in northeast Georgia. So they did really well. Overall, all the colonies looked well enough to go through winter. The nice thing about this particular honey harvest, this is the first time I've really gone into honey production. I've always raised nukes, and I've always done it as naturally as I can without feeding. So therefore I leave a lot of my honey in my colonies so that I can make splits the next year. So everybody looks like they got enough honey to make it through to the next, over winter and get into spring next year and be off to a good start. So any honey that is still out there that I probably could have harvested because I'm just trying to be conservative, I can always get in the early spring inspection. So it's easy to do then. So I'm really not losing anything, and I'll just have another opportunity to harvest honey in the spring. So today I'm going to continue, and I'm going to use my extractor for the first time. So I'm a rookie. This will be my first time using it. You'll get to see it. You get to see how I do it right, or maybe even how I do it wrong. Hopefully I'll do it right. I'm sure you probably already know the reason why you got to harvest your honey as soon as possible is because there are hive beetles, there's wax moth eggs in all that honey, and so if you leave it sit, and I've done it, I forgot about it or got busy, and I thought, oh, I'll just get it in 2 or 3 days. Well, in 2 or 3 days, hive beetles can start destroying the honey, so you really want to get at it quick, so that way you can really harvest good honey, because once the hive beetles get to it, it's no good for human consumption, so you got to do it right away. This one's very uneven, so I gotta turn the wheel almost sideways. And I get a little bit of work in there around the top. Okay, breaking all those caps up good. All right, good. Now, other side. Very uneven, and there's little shortcut holes where the bees were going through. You can see them. Yeah, this one's really uneven. I gotta work in all different directions here to get all those caps broken. Alright, there's a couple of bees that got in the garage. They smell that honey and they come, boy. So I gotta keep the door shut. Otherwise, they're going to tell all their friends, and I won't be able to move in here. There'll be a bee tornado. So, right there. The bucket still looks good. Not too bad. This one's still connected here in one spot, but the rest of it is not connected. The bees like to not connect everything 90 degrees and straight up and down. They like to have access to the rest of the hive, or easy access I should say. They like to have easy access to the other parts of the hive. So a lot of times they won't draw completely to the bottom or even to the sides. Nothing wrong with the bees. They're smart. They know what they need. Some of it's based on airflow, some of it's based on accessibility, and they're the experts. So they know what they need, and they set up their hive accordingly. All right, did we get them all? Looks pretty good. Turn this baby around. So again, this is probably, I don't know. I usually get about a quart of honey from one of these when I do crush and strain. But this is probably a pint. Probably gonna get about a pint worth out of this one. Okay. Looks ready into the extractor. Yeah, this is probably a pint's worth as well. You can see a lot of empty comb, but it's heavy though. It's still got a lot of weight on it, so it's still harvest worthy. And it's kind of fun. All right, I did have one frame that had like maybe a half a pint of honey still left in it, so I put it in to help balance this out, so hopefully it won't jump around. So far, this has been a really smooth operating machine. I've never run another extractor before, but I'm impressed nonetheless. So this is the moment we all wait for in beekeeping. The rich reward. Oh, I can hear the honey dripping through the strainer now. Make sure this is tight. Yep. So all the little wax cappings and hive beetles and anything else that doesn't belong in our honey pass through that filter, and then we'll be able to bottle it up. All right, well, because I'm slow, this took me all day. I guess I started right around lunchtime today, went outside, went through the hives, took the honey, came back in, got the extractor, and so now, I think it's 6 o'clock, let me look, almost 6. So yeah, I've been messing around about 5.5 hours today doing this. So I'm slow. I'll be faster when I get better at it. So let me get these frames. So I got 29, 30 frames. One of them's kind of busted up. Only one, but it wasn't in good shape when I started. So I got about 30 frames for next year that I can use with a fully drawn honeycomb. And they can get right to work filling that up with honey. And hopefully, by doing that, I'll get more honey next year. Show you inside here. So there she goes, and that's inside. I gotta get all that drained. So I'll probably still be messing around for at least another hour. Now I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with how well my frames held up. Not the frames, but the comb. I don't use any foundation, no plastic or wax, just starter strips. And they've held up really well. There's one or two that weren't drawn all the way to the bottom, and I think they cracked, so they may be toast. I may have to melt those. But I'm really impressed with how well they've held up. Let me see if I can show you one. I even extracted this one that wasn't drawn all the way to the bottom, and it went really well. I can reuse this. So the one that I broke, or that's mostly broken, show you that. Well, actually I won't. It's kind of precarious. But look at this. This is foundationless, and it's not even drawn all the way to the bottom. And I was cranking on that thing full speed, both directions, and it's light as a feather now. So I can freeze this and use it again next year. So that's going to save the bees a lot of energy and resources, and they can build more. Or well, they don't have to build comb now. They can just actually store their honey in these cells. So that's going to be a big plus for getting a good start on next year. So again, I don't typically recommend an extractor. I gave myself the test of time. I've been doing this over 10 years. This is my 12th year at the time of shooting this video. So 12 years of beekeeping. I think I'm going to keep doing it. My intention is to double the amount of colonies I've got for next year. So the extractor has done really well, and I've got to turn my honey gate off here just so I don't overflow. So I got to be careful. I'm not putting both eyes on that. I got to really pay attention.